Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where we make long and short-term investing simple. And let's take a look at the NASDAQ analysis for this week. We're wrapping it up here. Today's Friday. We had a fantastic trading week today. For the week, we're up 2.13% today. Let's take a look here. Yeah, we closed out at 2.13%. We could have received a more bullish week, but yesterday we did have that bearish pullback. But you know what? Still a strong closeout regardless. And we did close out above this support over here at 21,692. So from here, I am expecting a very, very nice trade to those all-time high price targets over here. And very, very simple. As long as we're above 21,700, you can be looking up for this 22,100 support level or resistance level up here. And very simple, you can wait for a retest there and then take your profit while we're here. Definitely going to be a lot of selling positions as well, especially for the first time when we touch it. So you can expect to close out a trade there if you are just looking for something short-term there. But right now, there's no reason why we should be calling a bear market. We are right by all-time high prices, and people are going to be fear-mongering no matter where we are in the market, and that's just something that you will realize, especially if you are a new trader. No matter where we are, we could be 90% down, we could be 90% up from the year, and people will still find places to call a bear market. For example, when I told my Discord to buy when we broke above this resistance level over here, and we were changing our trend very, very clearly, we had this huge impulsive day here showing a nice bottom. I was telling my Discord to buy right here, and your take profit was going to be at all-time highs. And people over here were calling for the market to drop another 60%. And then as we got over here, they're saying, no, this is a retest, so we're going to drop down even more. And then we came over here, and we were collecting even more profit. And people were saying, oh no, this is a double top, because look, we have a top right here. We have a shoulder over here. Or sorry, a head and shoulders, not a double top, but a head and shoulders over here. And now we're here, and yeah, the bears are trying to cope so bad, and they are so mad that they did not place any long trades, and they just want to bring you down with them, with their pockets, because they haven't been making any money. And all you can do is point and laugh at them and just say, next time, buddy. And you know, hope that they change there. But very simple, as a trader, all you're doing is being completely objective when it comes to your trading, taking a look at what is happening in the markets, looking for the best probability trades, and then managing your risk from there. I wish it was super cool, and I wish that I had a million different indicators telling you to buy and sell and all these flashing colors and lines, but yeah, you know what? Honestly, it's really nothing too crazy. It's just managing risk, taking best probabilities, and that's all it takes to be a good day trader. But let's move on, and we're talking about the market over here. Let's talk about the heat map over here. And we had a very bullish day as well. Google, oh, I love to see some bullish strength in Google and Apple especially, just because they've been lacking back compared to the rest of the Mag 7 stocks. But Google's up 3.25%. Nvidia showing some strength there as well. Microsoft kind of, you know, tapering down from the very bullish days we've had in the past couple weeks here. Tesla did make its rebound. Very, very solid day across the boards here, and very bullish day. Let's people look at Google. Speaking about Google. And we did place a fantastic trade on Google yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday. And I will show you that trade that was alerted in the Discord. But let me talk about the long-term price action here. Very simple. We did get this new high. This is a new high closeout that we've gotten ever since we exited the bear market here. So still some bullish strength. You have a pattern of lower highs and lower lows. So that's really all that you can be looking for there. And you do have a support line that's probably going to be running something like this as well. So not as steep, but you know what? That's not bad. Google is definitely going to be a long-term stock that you're looking for lots of growth in, and it's not going to be a quick little pump and dump thing like, you know, your Tesla or even like a cryptocurrency. But you know what? Very, very simple. I'm just waiting for the market to reach these all-time high prices, and once we're there, yeah, I will cash out. But right now, it's looking strong, and I will show you that short-term trade that I did tell the Discord as well. So this is a trade that I alerted the Discord about 2 days ago, and I will show you this zoomed in, and it's very, very simple trade here. And I will zoom in over here. Very, very simple. What we did here was that we saw this resistance line that was coming back down, and we saw that stocks were starting to consolidate a little bit and tighten up a little bit more. We had this pretty obvious bottom in my opinion, and then as soon as I saw a break of resistance, I told the Discord to go ahead and buy, and right now we are currently up 3.6% in that position. And after a 3 times leverage, we're currently up 10.8%. And we definitely are expecting Google to make a new higher high in the sequence there. So until we do, that's when we're probably going to collect our profits. So I can expect a higher high at around 6% here. And then, yeah, we will be collecting some delicious, juicy profits as we've had with all of our other stock trades. We haven't had a losing stock trade so far. And our track record is looking really, really good there. And I will show you as well the NASDAQ trades that we have been taking. And if you are interested in getting some more information about becoming a profitable day trader, come take a look at the link in the description, wap.com/tmpfinance. That's from my exclusive Discord that teaches you all the behind the scenes on how to become a successful day trader. And I also tell you all the trades that I take, the percentage risk acquisition, the take profit, the stop loss. I also give you hot stock picks for every month. You get free one-on-one sessions as well, and so much more. So if you are interested in that service, we are currently beating the market by a significant amount. If I were to guess, we're probably beating the S&P by about 157%, as we're currently sitting at 159.96% year to date with our Discord NASDAQ trade alerts. So yeah, if you are interested in that service, come take a look at the link in the description there. But very, very simple. I am waiting for Google to make this new high and then cash out for the trade right over there. But very simple, Google in the long term, I don't think it needs any say. I think it's kind of a question of like, if it's the grass green, is Google going to stick around? Absolutely. You know, they have their market share in everything and they're very dominant in what they do. They're very, very strong here. Earnings for the past years and revenue have been pretty good as well ever since we exited 2023. So I am looking at the likes of Google, and definitely ask yourself when it comes to things like Google, like Apple, which are kind of lacking back, you gotta ask yourself, do you really expect this to be the last all-time high that we see for Google? If not, very, very simple. That just means that you are buying more Google if you do have Google, or if you don't, you are buying Google. Very, very simple there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for when it comes to Google. Let's take a look at Microsoft over here. Microsoft will make a new all-time high today. We're currently sitting at 170.38 per share. So that's pretty impressive, you know, 470, and very, very quickly, we rose up faster than we actually fell, which is kind of scary. I mean, it's good for the market short term. If you're a day trader, that's fantastic. But long term, I am expecting this to come back and rebalance. Just because we take a look at the Bollinger Bands here, we are currently touching the Bollinger Bands, and usually when we do have this kind of weak peak here, we start to taper back down at least to the middle line here, the margin line in the Bollinger Band. But if you do want to be a little bit more technical with it, you do have a huge gap here that needs to be filled here. This is very unsustainable. And I did do my research. If I go back all the way to 2010 for Microsoft, you don't have a gap sitting any more than about 1.2% and has not been filled. So this is currently 7%. If you are looking for a buying opportunity for fantastic stock, wait for the market to come back and try to fill this gap here. It doesn't need to be pixel perfect. It doesn't need to come back down to 396. But something like maybe even 400 or 402 right before a psychological level is a fantastic place to buy this stock at again. And even if you did want to be a little bit more conservative and you didn't want to be too risky and not miss out on another opportunity, wait for the market to come back and touch the support, because right now the market is about 15% away from its support line. So that's super overextended there. So I am waiting for a pullback when it comes to Microsoft there. But that is going to be a wrap for today's video. We're currently making some fantastic trades there. And again, the TMP Finance Discord community is going to be available for you if you do want to get some more insight on how to become a day trader beating the market. But that's going to be a wrap for today. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. And we will see you back in the next week when we make all-time highs in the NASDAQ. So until then, y'all, peace out, enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.